Modi that the recovery of the black money was made a part of the election manifesto of that party. And of course, the person who has been talking about it and working on it is still an experienced member of the BJP. That's the hypocrisy which I leave it to you to resolve. And I'm not even worried about it. Now the second thing is that the biggest culprit in the sustenance of this black money regime is the press, which has cooperated with the black marketers. I had in my possession a bunch of papers this large, which almost demonstrated that 5,000 crores of black money were being circulated through the subsidiaries of NDTV by Mr. Chidambaram and his son. I want to know whether the press rose to the occasion. The press acted exactly what they did during the emergency, that the rulers wanted them to beg a little, they crawled instead like worms. The same thing happened about the black money part here. Now, fortunately, and this is some star which governs the destiny of this country, that it is the international world, particularly the world democracies, who have been interested in recovery of black money. Not a poor country like India. That is why in 2005, the United Nations passed a convention against corruption, and that convention was open for signatures from the beginning of the year 2005. You know who was ruling in 2005. In 2005, India put its signature upon this convention. But no international convention becomes binding at all until and unless you have finally lodged with the United Nations what is called an instrument of ratification. You will be amazed that this convention has the greatest connection with the recovery of black money, because it creates an international law obligation upon every party to the convention to give full information and cooperate in the recovery of black money. India should have been the first to ratify that convention. In 2005, we signed that convention, but you will be amazed to know that the ratification for the first time came at what time? It came for the first time in the year 2011, when the judgment of the Supreme Court in my litigation before the Supreme Court was about to be delivered.
Yes.
I made a big point about it in the court, in the Supreme Court proceedings, that why is it that India is not ratifying this convention, which creates an obligation on every government to exchange information about black money and make the black money recoverable. Suddenly, one day, I think forget the date, it was 3rd of October from 2011, the Times of India came out. The Times of India is, according to me, the paper which has been cooperating with corruption in this country, and they don't have any decency left at all. They made a huge announcement that yesterday India has ratified this convention, and see how serious the government of India is in recovering this money. When I read this report, I suspected that this must be another fraud. It took me only 2 days to discover the fraud. Do you know what had happened? Before this ratification, a few, 2-3 months before that, the exact dates are in my article, they called the Swiss minister and the government of India signed a protocol with the Swiss minister. The protocol said that we will require information, whatever the information we require, we will obtain it from you under the double taxation avoidance treaty. Not under the international convention, but under the double taxation avoidance treaty. Now I will explain to you what this double taxation avoidance treaty means. Second, that we will seek information from you not about the past but only about the future. And third, that where there is a protocol or a bilateral treaty between India and any other country, that convention will not apply. And solemnly, I have admired Mr. Manmohan Singh for some of the things that he did, but I have completely lost respect for him that he is a diseased worm in this country. The man perpetrated this fraud and made an announcement that we have now ratified the convention. If you have not ratified the convention, you destroyed the convention. Now, the double taxation avoidance treaty does not apply to those who are involved in the crime of money laundering. Those who are involved in bribery, those who are in arms deals, bribery, corruption, and all that. No, it applies to honest businessmen who, by reason of the laws of two different countries, are liable to pay tax on the same income in two countries. If an Indian citizen earns some money in Germany, he is liable, if the Germans so like, to tax him upon the income because he is earning the income in Germany. And Indian government is entitled to tax him, the Indian legislature is entitled to tax him because you are a national of India. Wherever you get your money from, you will pay tax to Indian government. Now it is to resolve the problem of these honest businessmen who have to pay tax in two different countries on the same income that the double taxation avoidance treaty exists. It has nothing to do with the dacoits who have stolen the black money and stashed it in foreign banks. Now, as I told you, that the pressure for recovery of black money and the obligation to disclose information and to break through what the banks and the Swiss banks in particular call the customer confidentiality regulations has come not from the poor country like India, but it has come from the rich countries of Europe and America. This moral pressure worked even upon the Swiss government and the Swiss citizens. Even some honest Swiss people said that this is not right, that the prosperity of Switzerland almost wholly depends upon the money stolen from all over the world. I don't know, Mr. Arun Kumar, whether you know that in 1991, I forget the exact date, it was some date in October of 1991, soon after Rajiv Gandhi's death, that an illustrious Swiss magazine, the name of it is Swissy Illustrating, published the names, the photographs, the account number and the amount in the accounts of 14 international thugs from all over the world. I am ashamed to say that amongst the 14 was the name of the late Rajiv Gandhi with $2.2 billion. I mentioned it in the debate in Parliament when the low-cost bill was being debated, the House broke into pandemonium, and there was the leader of the opposition sitting in the Rajya Sabha, BJP man, who did not say one word to stop this pandemonium and said that Mr. Jethmalani will continue this speech. I am here today to tell you something which I have been struggling with myself, whether I should disclose it, but my agony and my anxiety are so great that my conscience today does not permit me to tell you in the presence of the press that I have suspected Mr. Arun Jaitley to be a partner of Mr. Chidambaram. He was very anxious on being elected after the election to become a foreign minister, become a finance minister. I have got friends in the Congress. They used to ask me that is Arun Jaitley becoming the finance minister if Modi wins the election? So now there are two inferences. Either they were afraid that he will become and he will fight for black money and expose their deeds, or they were anxious that he should be there so that he should continue to protect what Mr. Chidambaram was doing. I am ashamed to tell you that the first act of Mr. Arun Jaitley, he was asked a question in Parliament, by some member asked a question in Parliament about black money. What have you done about the recovery of black money? The answer is that I have started correspondence under the Double Taxation Avoidance Treaty. And I must now tell you something more. That I immediately wrote a letter to Mr. Modi. A fact which I am disclosing for the first time in this meeting because my conscience does not permit me to keep quiet. I wrote to him that I have always suspected this man, and I am now telling you that he is a traitor to the nation. You take whatever action that you want to take, but black money will never come so long as this man is your finance minister. I want to know whether the press is going to publish this tomorrow. No, you will not. Your bosses will permit you. Well, now let me tell you something more which will amaze you. As I told you, it is international pressure from civilized countries that has touched the conscience of the United Nations, that the United Nations passed this convention against corruption, and it came into force, not force, it existed for signatures in 2005. We signed it. Then I tell you how they ultimately made a complete act of it. But the Germans were more anxious than ourselves to get at the names of these international dacoits. There is a bank called the Bank of Liechtenstein, which is in the vicinity of Switzerland. I think you can walk from Switzerland into this Liechtenstein. The country is as big as the bank. But that bank also is a bank consisting of dacoits. So all over the world. Liechtenstein Bank. The Germans paid $475 million bribe to an employee of the bank to get the names. They got a whole cassette containing the names of all the international thugs who have deposited money in the Bank of Liechtenstein. And the majority of the names are of Indians. The German finance minister, Mr. Thorsten, I believe, German name, pardon my probably mispronouncing the name, but he made a public announcement that we are prepared to share this information with any government that wants it without cost and without condition. If I was Manmohan Singh, I would have taken the first plane that night and got the names, but he does not want to get the names because that money, which in 91 the Swiss magazine reported, has stands in the name of Rajiv Gandhi has now been eradicated by Sonia Gandhi, who is the leader of the Congress party. But where is $2.2 billion disappear? Obviously, on the death of this Italian woman has got this money, and I am ashamed always that a woman picked up from a bar in London, you have made her the uncrowned empress of this country. We have to be ashamed of it. This money, the major criminals are the members of this family. And this family has the most cordial relations with both Mr. Arun Jaitley as well as Sushma Swaraj. The two most important persons who have signed my order of expulsion from BJP. So my friends, this is the story that after this discovery of the names by the Germans tell you, come and take this name from us. You don't take it. And you go on talking of double taxation avoidance treaty. The names which fall under the double taxation avoidance treaty I got by order of the Supreme Court while my case was going on. They gave me 18 names, and one of the Indian names is some hospital here in Bombay. What is the name? Leah. Some people are connected with that hospital. They are double taxation avoidance. 18 names, but you did not take the name of Hassan Ali. Why? Because Hassan Ali's name did not come under the double taxation avoidance treaty. He is a rascal. His name did not come to us by any information supplied by any bank. His house was raided and his account, Swiss account, and authenticated by a notary public, was found in his own house. $8.6 billion. Please understand what the amount is. $8.6 billion. The last credit entry in that account was $2.2 billion, and the entry against that account in his own documents is arms sales. Now this at least is a part of, now I will tell you, there was an honest police officer who interrogated him. He saw to it that a camera was put in the room where he was interrogated, and his whole interrogation was photographed. That officer was removed. There is another man who was investigating Hassan Ali's case. He was transferred by Mr. Bharadwaj. And my friends, only in the month of March, before the Supreme Court of India, when the hearing of this case took place, Attorney General, Solicitor General, Mr. Mohan Paraswaran got up and said that out of $8.6 billion, only about $40,000 are left in Hassan Ali's account. You rascals, what did you allow to do with the rest of the money? What? See, they think that by allowing the people to transfer the money from one account to another, you destroy the evidence. But no, black money has the habit of leaving footprints. You have only to go to that bank and you will trace that whole money and get where the money has gone. So my friends, forget this lunch. Now comes another part of the case. I got a judgment from the Supreme Court in July 2011. One of the best judgments that two judges of the Supreme Court have ever delivered, in which they recorded the following findings: that this government has done nothing to recover black money. An honest government should have tendered resignation on that day as a result of that government. But they are shameless. They will not. Shameless, so shameless, that man like Manmohan Singh and the Sikh gurus must be wondering what kind of a Sikh they produce. I am prepared to work under Rajiv Gandhi. I would commit suicide rather than do this. Shameless. Well, second finding, that since you have never investigated, we are creating a special investigation team. They gave the, and it will be supervised by 2 retired Supreme Court judges. And third, disclose the names to Mr. Jethmalani, which you have got. What do you think would a government do? A government which wants to recover black money. They would comply with that judgment. They not only refused to comply with the judgment, but after some time, they applied for a recall of this judgment. What was the press in this country doing? You are supposed to be servants of the people, to inform the people, educate them, so that they can make up their own minds about who should rule in this country. The press is the greatest culprit. You did nothing whatsoever. Government applied for a recall of the judgment. Unfortunately for India, one of the judges had retired by that time. So the recall application had to be heard by one original judge and one new judge, Mr. Kabir. The 2 judges naturally differed. One said that there is nothing wrong with this judgment. There is no question of recall. But Kabir said no. This judgment requires consideration. What consideration do you require? People's money is involved, not your father's money. So my friends, both the judges didn't know the law. What happens when 2 judges differ? You have to refer it to a 3-judge bench. They referred it to a 3rd judge. And they knew that this order can't take effect. Unfortunately, the honest judge also didn't know the law, so he became a party to this. That 3rd judge will decide. My friends, the Attorney General of India appeared in court and opposed the judgment of this court that you should recover this black money in the manner in which they had said, namely the appointment of the SIT. The Attorney General should be ashamed of it. He is not an employee of the government, he is a servant of the people of India. I wish to say no more. The man is now lying in some ICU unit of the hospital and meeting his maker. This is the fate of the Attorney General of India. So my friends, it took 2 years for Mr. Kabir himself became the Chief Justice. He had to constitute the 3-judge bench. The 3-judge bench could not be constituted so long as he remained the Chief Justice. It was reconstituted immediately after his retirement. The matter came before the 3-judge bench. They came to argue the recall application. The 3-judge bench rejected that whole argument within exactly 15 minutes. And I'm very happy to tell you that all the 3 judges said that Mr. Jethmalani, we are grateful to you for what you are doing. You will also save us our money. So now the SIT has been created. SIT can't function without going to the Germans. But I must tell you that I anticipated, because as soon as I got this judgment from the Supreme Court, I immediately went to Germany myself. I went and talked to the highest people in Germany. I told them, I said, listen, India is a democracy and your own minister has made a public statement that you are prepared to share information with us without cost and condition. What have you done? They said, sir, but your government has never asked.
Share.
Will the press publish this? No. They said, sir, we'll give you. I said, listen, you are dealing with a democracy. India is a democracy. We are in the midst of an election campaign. And why will you not give us? He says, Mr. Jethmalani, be sure that nobody has even asked for this. Incidentally, I might tell you that the Swiss bank wrote a letter to the government of India in one case that please confirm that you are investigating money laundering and we will give you that information. For 4 years, no reply. These are all matters of record. You read my book. It contains a whole chapter on black money. Have you seen that latest book of mine? The title of that book is The Maverick, Unrepentant and Unreformed. Because my earlier book was Conscience of a Maverick. I have remained an unrepentant maverick for the last 7 years. And the whole chapter on black money, you will get all these facts and figures in that book. So my friends, this is the state of affairs. The Germans said that Mr. Jethmalani, you are going back, but at least if you can get some opposition members to write to us that Mr. Jethmalani has been acting on behalf of the people of India and we are interested as opposition members. I wrote a letter to Mr. P Chidambaram on coming back. I even drafted that one-line letter. I said, you don't have to write a long letter because I have already written a long letter to the Chancellor of the German Chancellor and I have recorded all the facts, all that you want you to sign a one-line letter that Mr. Jaitley is approaching you on behalf of the opposition and we are interested in getting the names. For 10 days, this simple request of mine was not complied with. No wonder Mr. Arun at least is not a minister. After 10 days I called. Oh, he said, I have spoken to Balbir Punj and he is supposed to do this. Then I called Balbir Punj. Balbir Punj says, but this is my, why don't you ask your son to do it? I said, but who is my son? He's neither a member of parliament, nor is a member of your party, nor is he a spokesman on behalf of your party. He is another person whom you have betrayed anyhow. But that apart. So my friends, this is the state of affairs. All that the new SIT has to do now. If the SIT doesn't do it, I'll go to the monitoring, Justice Natu is monitoring the whole investigation now. Be sure that I will go again to Germany and get these names.
Thank you.
But I require the people of India to say that Rajiv Gandhi has the support of you people that you want this money back.